I think being part of an organisation that is now the biggest breast cancer charity in the UK is a real achievement because of how it came about. And I was lucky enough to be part of that merger activity that happened to bring Breast Cancer Now, as it was, together with Breast Cancer Care, creating a charity that's there for everyone affected by breast cancer in whichever way they need support. So that is a real achievement to have been part of what I think is quite groundbreaking and has got amazing potential for how we can be there for people in the future. This is like a technique that I started using when I went back to work, having 3 really young children and knowing that I needed to usually pick them up from various places, and I had to try and visualise how I was going to be where I needed to be at different points in the day. But it's a technique that I still use now. At the start of the day, think about what the day holds, how I'm going to go into that day, how I want to show up at each of those meetings that go on, and it really helps me being able to visualise it. And I think even more now when, like many others, I have days where I have back-to-back meetings, I don't always have time to prep in between for each one about how I want it to go. So just allowing myself that time at the start of the day to think about how I might show up for those meetings and what I want out of them is really a helpful technique for me. Working for Breast Cancer Now, obviously the biggest thing that motivates and drives me is the cause and knowing that we need to be here for people affected by breast cancer. So whether it's the research that we're doing, the services that we provide, or campaigning to get drugs available to the people that need them, it's that need that really motivates me. But I guess in the area of work that I do, what I particularly feel motivated by is thinking about how we do that in a really evolving world. So people's expectations of how they get support from organisations or how they give support is really evolving, and how we keep up with that and be the organisation that's relevant for people for the future is really motivating. Well, I started working with the charity sector in the 2000s, and at that time we didn't have such easy ways to connect with others, didn't have social media of course. So I guess if I was starting out now, I'd really make the most of just what a warm, collaborative and open sector it is, and make more connections and learn from seeing what others are doing, because it really is an amazing sector to work in terms of being able to develop and learn from others and what they're doing and the openness that people have. So I think I'd harness that a bit more than I maybe did when I first started out. At Breast Cancer Now, we already have some of my dream corporate partners, which is brilliant. Many of those are in retail. But I think looking forwards, what I'd really love us to do is have maybe a broader range and move into different sectors, whether that's finance or tech or property, because we know with the breast cancer diagnosis, that affects so many different people, and not only the person going through it, but their friends, their family and networks. And so reaching more audiences is really important for us.